time now for business on France 24 with Kate Moody. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jeannie.
We're going to start with the announcement of a major fraud investigation into business practices at the French aviation giant Airbus.
Yeah, the UK's Serious Fraud Office has confirmed it's launching a criminal investigation into the passenger jet unit of Airbus. That's the part of the business that uses third-party consultants to help negotiate sales. And it's not the first time we've heard of potential problems there. Export credit agencies in the UK, France, and Germany had already suspended financing for the group earlier this year after an internal inquiry reported discrepancies. Phoebe Lanzer-Wood has the details.
Fraud, bribery and corruption. The allegations weighing against Airbus after Britain's Serious Fraud Office launched a criminal investigation against Europe's leading aircraft manufacturer. In April, Airbus itself said errors had been discovered in an internal review on the use of third-party consultants during sales negotiations. Third parties have been the target of anti-fraud regulation in recent years, with many companies reducing the number of agents they use. The Airbus Group released a statement saying it was cooperating with investigators, no doubt in a bid to reassure its investors. The allegations have dealt a severe blow to Airbus, which has already taken a hit this year by the news of the Brexit. Aerospace experts have warned that the France-based business will have to reconsider its operations in the UK. Meanwhile, bad news for Airbus can only mean one thing: a boost for Boeing. The plane maker's US rivals will be looking to exploit their share of the market, as the corruption probe is expected to last several years.
Kate, tell us how the markets are faring this Monday.
The European markets trading higher about midway through the trading session, following a positive trend that was set in Asia earlier on. Investors around the world being boosted by better-than-expected employment figures that were released in the U.S. on Friday. That's seen as raising the chances that the Federal Reserve will increase interest rates before the year is up. The Frankfurt DAX leading gains up nearly 1% about midway through Monday's trading session, as new figures show that Germany's industrial production rebounded in the month of June. Meanwhile, there are fresh concerns about the health of China's economy after official figures released on Monday showed that both exports and imports fell more than expected in July. Exports down 4.4% from a year earlier, imports losing 12.5%. The export figures suggest that global demand remains weak in the aftermath of the UK's decision to leave the EU, while government measures to boost domestic activity have failed to create much momentum. Let's take a look at some of the day's other business headlines now. Air France-KLM says that a week-long strike by its cabin crew has cost at least 90 million euros. Traffic fell slightly, but was balanced by an increase in passengers flying on the group's low-cost carrier Transavia. The airline has been struggling to cut costs while dealing with a series of union strikes, as well as the high terror threat in France. Air France-KLM's SkyTeam alliance partner Delta Airlines is also facing difficulties. It's grounded all departing flights this Monday because of a computer outage. The US-based airline said it was investigating what had caused the global system-wide problem. It gave no time frame about when the issues would be resolved. Flights already in progress will not be affected, but Delta passengers have been advised to check the status of their flights before heading to the airport. And Japanese competition authorities have searched Amazon's offices in Tokyo. The Fair Trade Commission said it suspected the e-commerce giant of forcing retailers to offer lower prices on its site than on rival services. Officials in Europe have launched similar investigations, notably into Amazon's book-selling business.
And finally, Kate, just to wrap up, some baseball news where a surprise retirement announcement in the States has sent ticket prices through the roof.
Yeah, we're talking about the New York Yankees star Alex Rodriguez. He announced rather abruptly this weekend that this Friday would be his final game. Online retailers say that ticket prices for this week's games rose as much as 500% in the hours following that announcement. The average listed price for a seat for Friday's game hit over $456. That's according to the online ticket retailer TickIQ. Compare that to about $76 for an average seat before he announced his retirement. The 41-year-old has been one of the sport's most controversial and highest-paid players. His career of record-breaking home runs and hits was tarnished when he admitted to having used steroids. Yankee fans, of course, Jeannie, either love or hate A-Rod. As a fan myself, I can tell you, I think it'll be a pretty, no matter what you feel about him, it'll be a pretty bittersweet farewell to him in the Bronx on Friday.
I don't know if I would pay that much for a baseball game. Maybe to go see Hamilton on Broadway. That's more my speed. Kate Moody,
thank you.
Personal preference, Jeannie. Thank you so much for that look at the business news. It's now